Yo, 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 welcome to another edition of the Geeky Bros Podcast. I'm your boy Tactix.
And this is Big Geek Umar. How y'all doing today? Or how you
Hopefully
doing
they're
today?
doing good. I'm
Yeah,
good, bro. I'm good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Unfortunately, we're missing our bro Darcy, so we'll be getting him back next week. We have we're putting on hold one review that we want to let everyone know about, Free Guy, because we all watched it together, our first movie together since pandemic started. But we gotta wait for our bro to come back. So if you guys don't mind, it's me and Tactics for tonight.
I feel like I'm gonna forget that movie by the time we review it.
You were laughing so hard. I highly doubt that you will forget.
Come on, that Tatum scene was like hilarious, man.
Okay,
Like,
we can't do
hell-
this. We can't do this. We can't.
yeah, no, yeah. We'll wait for Darcy, but yeah, yeah, hilarious movie
All right. So yeah. But we got enough stuff for us to talk about just between the two of us,
for
and
sure,
hopefully by
for
then
sure.
all three of us would have watched Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and check it out tomorrow with my lady. So I'm excited for that. Hopefully it'll be. I'm hearing a lot of good buzz around it, a lot of good hype.
I did see it.
So
I
I'm
saw that.
hoping, yeah. And I know that both you and Sheba, really enjoyed it. So I'm excited. I'm hoping I share the same kind of enthusiasm for the movie. Walk out there with a big smile on my face.
I have a feeling you might, given how much you like Doctor Strange.
Yeah. We're gonna be talking about Doctor Strange at the end, near the end of the show. But what's on the agenda for today, sir?
All right, we're gonna start off this podcast episode on a bit of a somber note. As usual, we're returning to our geeky news segment, and unfortunately, there was a bit of a sad geeky news that happened this past week. The actor Ed Asner passed away. Ed Asner is, well, for me, a legendary actor. I've watched him since like my parents showed me the Mary Tyler Moore show, like when I was a kid, like when I was on reruns on like A&E. So like I knew him from that stuff. But what I really know him from is from Gargoyles. He played the old the old character Hudson, and also yeah, that's my man right there. And he also voiced Roland Daggett in the original Batman animated series, like back in the '90s. He then went on and did like other stuff as well. He played Granny Goodness on Superman. He was in Justice League for one episode as Hephaestus, and but I think everyone knows his voice from the movie Up. Yeah, so like for me, it was Gargoyles, Roland. So it was Hudson from Gargoyles, Roland Daggett from Batman the Animated Series, and also Granny Goodness from Superman, and then also Lou Grant from Mary Tyler Moore. But everyone else like knows him from Up, from the movie Up. He played the old man in that one. So yeah, a legend for me. He's like literally I've been watching and listening to him my entire life. So this was kind of a sad moment. But like he passed at 91. Unfortunately, he had to pass during the pandemic, but still. Yeah, rest in peace to Ed Asner. T, do you have any experience with him?
Uh, so honestly, I'm a little ashamed to admit it, but he looks familiar. I just wasn't. I couldn't put a face to some of the work, and obviously based off of what you said, majority of this stuff was voice acting related. But
Yeah.
I did watch Gargoyles back in the day. Obviously, I watched Batman the Animated Series, and definitely love Up. That's a classic Pixar film for me. It's unfortunate, but he 91. That's a long life, man. Not many people get to say that they've lived that long. I mean, obviously they wouldn't say that if they're gone, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, R.I.P. to him. It's always a sad thing when we lose someone. So yeah, my condolences to his family, friends, everyone that knew him, and thank you for the great body of work that and the legacy that you've left.
A huge body of work spanning like
Yeah.
Jesus, like decades, and like he's
Mm,
just always working.
yeah.
So yeah, and Asner, your voice and your I also remember him from Studio 60 as well. He was in that, and yeah, you will be missed, and you will always be my Roland Daggett. You'll always be my Hudson. You'll always be my Granny Goodness, and you'll always be my Lou Grant. And if I knew what his character's name was from Up, I think it was Carl.
I can't remember. I'm surprised by the Granny Goodness thing though. I didn't know he it was voiced
Yeah,
by him or a male by that matter. But yeah, man, wow.
yeah, like I just remember because like I always like this voice sounds familiar, and it was also like kind of creepy because you're like, yo, this voice sounds familiar,
Hmm.
but like at the same time, like it's making me uncomfortable. And then I was like, Ed Asner voice Granny Goodness, and I was like,
Hmm.
yo, man, my man's got range.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, he did the Carl, the name in Up, the character's name was Carl, so yeah, so it was Carl from Up. So yeah, we'll miss you, Ed, and rest in peace, brother. Hope you're in a better place.
Hmm. Rest in peace.
All right, moving on to our next topic on a significantly, well, hopefully significantly more brighter note. We are going to revisit the topic of the Batman. Now, just a small recap for new people over here. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Mac Rame, who's this Carl Fredrickson in Up. That was Ed Asner's character. Thank you for that. I'm glad I got that right. So yeah, so in our previous podcast, we have discussed the Batman movie at length, specifically the shit storm behind the scenes. And ooh, that's a great picture. And so thankfully, finally, we are getting some good news to discuss, or I should say, good rumors to discuss. Nothing have to do with onset drama or like any kind of like fuck ups that's going on. But it is rumored that Matt Reeves has shown the a 3 hour cut of the Batman film to studio execs, and the rumors are that it went very well, and also that the film is considered like almost like a horror movie, where it's like the Riddler is like a serial killer, and the Batman is kind of like the guy who has to catch him. So it's like people compare it to what we've been saying the trailer looked like. People have been comparing it to like how the horror movie slash thriller of Seven. And
Mm.
so what we're hearing is that like the cut's 3 hours long. It's really scary. Uh, all the actors are doing a great job. Um, uh, yes, look, and also the Batman voice of Robert Pattinson is actually debatably a good one. And well, let me see if I can bring up the tweets that were released about this. So yeah, so horror movie, very graphic, very dark, very scary. Paul Dano, who plays the Riddler, is fucking crazy. Is so fucking scary. I loved every second. Awesome. It's a 3 hour long film. Zoe Kravitz's a Catwoman is she's her favorite, the favorite since they didn't
Michelle
really go.
Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah, they didn't say Michelle Pfeiffer specifically, but like it's basically saying that it's like a pretty good one. The voice of Batman is pretty spot on. The Batmobile is fucking like holy fucking shit. The fucking it's fucking slayed. So yeah, and also it says the movie scenes ends on on a note that's very gripping. So what the rumors are is that the Batman is going to be DC's big jump back into the ring.
Mm.
Again, this is just rumors. So as much as I want this movie to succeed, I mean DC's got a lot like they've got a lot to catch up with. But if this is them showing that they still have a pulse, I'll be happy with that. But what do you think of these rumors, T?
Well, shit. There's a lot to unpack there. First off, if this movie is, if it test screened 3 hours long and they were happy with it, then please leave it the fuck alone. Don't chop it up and like edit it to fit the confines of like the movie. Like leave it at 3 hours. If it tested perfectly, fine for that. Then just
Amen.
leave it alone. Just leave it the fuck alone, please. Don't ruin a good thing, right? The
Endgame
second thing
was
is
3 hours long. We know that, like, Endgame was 3 hours long, and everyone loved that movie.
Exactly. So I'm again, I kind of like you. I'm cautiously optimistic about it, but it's hard to it's hard to contain myself just because for one, it's Batman. I'm like a huge Batman fan. Two, it's Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves made me fall in love with fucking apes and monkeys. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Planet of the Apes is one of the best trilogies out there right now. Well, of its time back then, right? Like, it's one of the best. Like, from the first one, it just progressively got better. Like, I love the third one. Like, I know it was like there was a divide there in terms of how it all ended, but the storyline as a whole did it for me, man.
Are you talking about the trilogy, or are you talking about like the first film?
No, the trilogy. The third one, there was a little bit of a divide. Like, some people were like, I wasn't really crazy about how it ended and blah blah blah. I was like, I thought it was fine. I thought it summed up everything in a nice, neat little bow perfectly. So no issues with that as a whole, as a trilogy. And it's hard to do a solid trilogy, right? They usually like, they kind of drop the ball.
He did the last two films, but like still, like he did basically the crescendo and the conclusion. So
yeah. So, I'm super excited for it. I love what I'm hearing. If it's anything like Seven, then this is gonna be a fucking solid movie. Like what more could you ask for? A Batman film that's like kind of like along the same caliber as the movie Seven, which if you haven't seen Seven, you need to. Like, it's a great film, right? Great, dark, gritty. Oh yeah. And so I'm loving what I'm hearing so far. I think this is gonna be top notch. I think DC is finally gonna blow it out of the park, or knock it out of the park, blow it out of the water, and they definitely need it. They need a win. I know Suicide Squad was good, but didn't pull the numbers that they were hoping for, and I doubt that we're ever going to get a second one just because of the bad taste that we were left off with the first Suicide Squad movie. But this has me pretty intrigued. I know we had a lot of rumors coming in, negative rumors regarding this this movie, and it's great to hear now that it's kind of going in the opposite direction, and like a lot of those rumors are being debunked. And I really hope that this movie pulls through, because we deserve another good Batman film, because we haven't had one since Christian Bale's during the whole Dark Knight trilogy, right? So we definitely need a good, solid Batman film. And I'm wondering what they're alluding to with that, the way that it ends, because so remember the moment, speaking of the Christopher Nolan's trilogy, remember the moment when you were watching Batman Begins and it's getting close to the ending and they bust out that Joker card? Guy, what was your reaction there? Because for any true Batman fans, you probably were on the, like, you probably flipped your shit. You were just like, what the like, everyone knew what that was.
So personally, I was like, when he said he left a calling card, I'm like, please say Joker, please say Joker, and then he turned it over and it was the Joker card. I'm like,
bro, I lost my fucking mind, bro, because I'm like, yo, at that point we hadn't seen a live action iteration of the Joker since '89. True. Right? True. So it was like, to see that setup, like, that was a perfect setup, like perfectly perfectly well crafted. I hope they don't. As much I would love to see something along those same lines with like a Joker reveal. I hope they don't like copy it and do that. I hope they do something even bigger or a little bit off the wall kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
To be
I want a
honest,
good setup.
yeah, like for me, I would say that the best, if the Riddler's being seen as like this like serial killer sort of deal, I would kind of want the next movie to go Scarecrow
Okay.
and kind of do like this, like they call in like like a psychologist, like kind of like a Hannibal Lecter style thing where they called
Yeah.
in the guy to help them out, and turns out he's the actual killer, and like Batman's the only one who's able to figure it out. I want something like that, and then like
Ah, shit. Okay.
the third movie be the Joker, where it's like the final film is the villain. That's what I want.
So I really really love that idea because I feel like they didn't do, not that they didn't do the Scarecrow justice. I just felt like they didn't give him enough to do
He was a
in the
background
Nolan
character.
trilogy. Yeah, and I felt like for subject matter like that where you're dealing with fear, I think that has so many levels that you could play into, especially now it's like with the tone that they're taking with this movie. I would love for them to really flesh out that concept of fear and overcoming your fear. I mean, they did it. I mean, fear was kind of like an undertone in the Dark Knight. Was
It
it
was the
Dark
main
or Dark Knight Rise?
no, no, Batman
Yeah,
Begins. Like it was the main
Batman Begins.
theme
Yeah.
in Batman Begins, but it was more about like overcoming your fear to like fight. Oh, keep on
Yeah.
fighting. I would much rather them change it up this time to be like more like how fear causes people to react and like overcoming it to come together.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And the vivid imagery that you could create from something like that. I mean, they only scratched the surface with Christopher Nolan's depiction of
Exactly.
Scarecrow, right? Like
Yes.
and if they're going really dark with it, and like some people have some really fucked up fears, man, like some dreams and shit. Like so you could get really, really gratuitous with like this kind of shit, right? So that's something I would really love to see in like in a Batman movie like this. So my only thing is that I also kind of want to see either characters we haven't seen yet in live action iterations or characters that desperately need
A revamp.
redemption like but then again it's so based on the tone that it sounds like they're trying to set up with this new franchise, it'd be hard for me to see a character like Clayface or like Mr. Freeze in something like this, or Poison Ivy.
I see what you're saying. I think
You
Poison
know,
Ivy. I think you can get away with Poison Ivy. Mr. Freeze and Clayface. Yeah, those you're gonna have to really go into like the sci-fi aspect for that. But
yeah,
Poison Ivy actually can be done really well. In this.
yeah. I mean, it depends on how real it. Like, are they taking the Christopher Nolan route where they're keeping it very grounded, or are they gonna kind of play a little outside of the box and stick a little closer to the source material and go that meta fantastical route? You know what I mean?
It depends on what Matt Reeves wants because like we don't know. Like it looks like he's doing a very grounded version because he's focusing more on the like the detective element
Detective,
of
yeah.
like the film noir style. So with that, Poison Ivy can be like literally a femme fatale. That they get like that she's just like she's someone who poisons people. And like Poison Ivy, Scarecrow, Riddler. These are people who like Poison Ivy has been recently in the last like few years souped up to be more of a meta-human as opposed to the regular person. But like
Yeah.
if you just make her the fact that she's just immune to poisons like on a biological level, and then therefore she is able to like she's also an eco-terrorist. Why not just go down that route and don't make her like green, except for like her the color she likes to wear. But yeah, so I think those two can be done. Like Poison Ivy, we definitely need to redeem that character because like don't get me wrong, I
Yeah.
love Uma Thurman as an actress, but like nah. Just
that whole movie was trash. Like everything about that movie needs to be redeemed. Like Robin, Batman, Mr. Freeze, all of it. Bane. Well, we did
Bane
get some
was
redemption
redeemed.
for Bane. Yeah,
we got redemption from Bane, but like we definitely need to get some from Mr. Freeze because I hate the fuck. Just fuck.
I still see you, Batman.
You know what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Man.
We got some comments. First on Mac Rain. I can't be more excited about Robert Pattinson in this. He's so talented, and that's what is making me the most eager to see this movie, especially since I'm not good with scary movies. I hate scary movies, so I hear you on that front. Robert Pattinson, I was kind of in for Mac Rain, but like ever since I heard about his like attitude on set, it kind of like killed it for me. And Ron R is saying, I agree, would love to see a different villain. Also can't picture Joker as anyone else but Heath.
Yeah, that's hard, man. That's very hard. Like, that's like for me, the Joker movie didn't do it for me. It just didn't do. It's forgettable. It
wasn't Joker.
At best.
It wasn't Joker.
No, it wasn't. And no discredit to Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's a phenomenal actor.
And he did a good job. Like
he did a yeah. The movie is there's nothing wrong with the movie. It's just had it not been associated. No, my gripe is had it not been associated with Batman, and I didn't have that expectation. I might have enjoyed it a little bit more based off of what they were trying to do. It would have been a more interesting and compelling movie on its own merit. But because it was associated with Batman and it just didn't land and it didn't hit the mark for me, I wasn't buying into it, and I couldn't help but compare this version of Joker to Heath's version or even Jack Nicholson's version, and I'm just like, it's just there's no comparison.
Jared Leto was also in there too. I forgot about him. His is not even worth mentioning.
It's okay to forget about him. It's okay to forget about him. But
no, but like with Robert Pattinson, I'll say that like when I first heard about him, I was like, really? Like I felt there were other people you could have gone with, but at the same time, like he does have acting chops. Like I've seen like one of his like actually no, two, and also I saw Tenet. So like he can act. I know he can act. I just wish he wasn't such an asshole.
Is that actually true though? Like, is what they're saying about him like legit?
I would say that the rumors about him and Zoe Kravitz probably are not, but like in terms of his issues with Matt Reeves, everyone is saying that's true. Like he had, like the whole him not wanting to work out, him saying that like he even went on an interview and said that he was basically saying that he was being Me Too'd for wanting to like bulk up for Batman. And I'm like, fuck you, just fuck you. Like you're a guy. You don't get to like call Me Too on this shit. And like, oh, I'm sorry, people are objectifying you. You're playing Batman. You bulk up for Batman. Like if someone asked me to be like a Muhammad Ali, I'm gonna bulk up for Muhammad Ali role. So anyway, like
it's like what's the motherfucker's name? Finn Jones not wanting to learn like do his fight choreography. I'm like, how are you not doing your homework and you're the main character? You're Iron Fist.
Iron Fist. You have to be able to fight well. What's wrong with you?
Yo, that shit pissed me. He ruined his fucking career. I'd be surprised if I see him in anything else. Cause like hearing that shit is like depressing to me. Cause it's like, how did you get this role, and you're not even willing to put in the work to portray this character properly? You're just in it for a check at the end of the day. And it's crazy because. Well, I know we're talking about Batman. I'll bring it back, but
you're in the vein.
What's Colleen, right? The actress that plays Colleen, she doesn't even have martial arts experience. I didn't even know that because of that, and that's how good she was because of the fact that she put in the work, she put in the time, and she stayed invested in the character. How are you gonna let a side character style on you, and you're the main character? Like that just didn't make sense to me.
And also, like, going back to what you were saying, like he's the main actor. He was so bad at being a leading man that they started writing him to be the butt of jokes in The Defenders and in Iron Fist 2, Season 2. Like, they literally took him out and put Colleen front and center.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
Honestly, if I was his stunt double, I'd have just been like, "Yo, you think I could just do this job? Like, do we really need this motherfucker? Like, cause like seriously, like your stunt double is putting in more work. You might as well give him the role.
Yeah.
Like, it's just bad. So yeah, so I mean,
But see, this is what I'm worried about. Like, I'm worried that we're gonna get that, but in the Batman. I'm like, I don't want to see a stunt double taken. Like, it shouldn't be a stunt double. Like, yeah, he's wearing a mask, but like, come on, man.
yeah, okay. So I see what you're saying. The not bulking up bothers me a little bit. However, if everything else being equal, like if he's still putting in the work everywhere else, like acting chops, like fight choreography, all of that stuff, it's a small loss for me, to be honest. Like if we get a skinnier Batman, it's whatever at that point, right? But as long as his performance is believable, because again, like structurally, like and just based off of like what I've seen him in, and I haven't seen him in much, right? Like I saw one of the Twilight movies, and then I saw Tenet. But upon first viewing or hearing of him being Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, I just didn't see it. So, but then I saw the trailer, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of convinced. I'm a believer. So if he can pull this off and give us a top-notch performance at the expense of him not looking the part physically, I'm willing to give him a pass.
I am very, very guarded with him now. Like, because like I can see him being a good Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
I can also see, like, because of the trailer, I can possibly see him as a good Batman. My problem is, I don't like now that I know all some of the shit that went on behind the scenes. When I'm watching the movie, I don't want it to be obvious to me because that'll be grating. If he's able, like you said, if Robert Pattinson can bring the role and do it seriously and do it right, I will forgive. But right now, he's fucking with my movie. I'm not really enjoying it with him right now.
Okay, so here's playing devil's advocate or looking at it from a different lens. Because the Batman character is, not only stoic, but he's also stubborn as fuck. So what if this is Robert Pattinson's way of embodying that character to a T, in the sense of being like super stubborn and not like listening to authority, or just like kind of going by like based off of his own. Yeah, he's like very method in his acting, and he's trying to get deep into the role of Batman. It's like no, I'll work out when I want to work out because I'm the fucking Batman, not when you tell me to, bitch. Like what if it's on that shit?
That would explain the rumors about him having sex with Zoe Kravitz. But
wait, is that in Batman's character? Like, does he just fuck girls on the Batmobile?
He does with Catwoman.
Fair. Okay. All right. Well, then my hat goes off to him. That's gangster shit.
If he's going that method, I'll be like, okay, it's a different form of method acting than Heath Ledger did for the Joker. But like,
wait, so wait, did he like show her like a panel in the comics? Like, yeah, see, this is what they did. So we got to get on board with this shit. All right.
If we want to be Batman and Catwoman, we got to do what they do.
Oh man.
If he's doing method, he's kind of missing the point, because Batman would train his body. Granted, he wouldn't train it on someone else's like schedule, but I don't know, man. Robert Pattinson's left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth, and ironically, I was supporting him before all this rumors came out. But I mean, hey. Ultimately, if it's a good film, and also if he's able to get all the women to come see it, like who were like Twilight fans, and like and he's able to convert them to Batman fans. Actually, that's impressive. If he's able to turn the Twilight fans into Batman fans, okay.
But are women still swooning over this guy for the Twilight? Like, Twilight was like how long ago? Like, that was like 10 years ago. Like, I don't even remember that shit. Is he still it?
Well, let's ask the audience, either Macrame or Ron R, or also like other people who are watching. Leave a comment. Is Macrame answered very quickly? Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. nail in that coffin.
Ron R, are you aware? Were you into Robert Pattinson in Twilight, and does that still hold sway for you now? Our other audience members, if you wish to comment or answer as well, if he's able to turn Twilight fans into Batman fans, I can. Oh wait,
no.
Ron R is not, unfortunately, but
fair.
This Twilight was a big part of my high school experience. Yeah, so we're kind of hoping that you and like all of your demographic shift to the Batman with this film. If he's able to do that, I will forgive him. Ron R is like the books, yes, not the movies, but I love Batman. Okay, so you're already a fan. So nonetheless,
she doesn't need much convincing then.
I just want him to do good. Just do a good job.
I think we all do. I still have faith in Matt Reeves. I think despite all the rumors, I think he can pull this off and give us a good movie. We need this, man. And the trailer looks so good. If it ends up being trash, I'm gonna be so disappointed. At that point, I'm gonna give up on Batman because the Titans is fucking trash.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry to go back. Not give up on Batman, but just like if there's ever another movie, I'm just like I don't want you to do this to me again. Like I can't keep trusting you, and then you just break my heart every time.
Okay, question.
I thought we were gonna have a good one with Gotham. I thought Titans was gonna deliver. Trash. Trashity trash.
Let me ask you this question live on.
Fuck Titans. Sorry.
YouTube.
Sorry.
If I see the Batman before you, do you want me to do what you did for me for Teen Titans?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, come on. I say that lightly when I say I'm going to give up on Batman. I still want to let's face it. I'll never give up on Batman. I'm just saying that I'm going to be very distraught if this movie ends up being shit. Like remember how I felt when we watched Batman v Superman? We drove all the way to Niagara, bro. You knew what was ahead, and you said nothing. You said nothing, and I was so excited. We were dressed up in onesies, bro. Batman, like superhero onesies, to Niagara, and I was so excited. I'm like, yo, guy, I never thought I would see the day where I'd see Batman and Superman live on screen together, and that movie was an utter piece of shit that disappointed me. It hurt my feelings.
So let me ask you this: were you upset that I didn't warn you?
Yeah, I was. So put it this way: you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. It's like, and I hate to use this reference because it's a little dirty, but you know me, I'm gonna go there. It's like when you're trying to perform in bed with your girl, and you can't get it up. And she's now in that awkward situation where, do I say something or do I not say something? If you say something like, oh, babe, don't worry, it's okay. Like, it happens all the time, or it happens, now you feel like a bitch. Now you feel like, oh, man, I feel less of a man. I feel so emasculated. If she doesn't say something, now it's fucking with your mind. Now you're like, oh shit, like what's she thinking? Like, so you're fucked either way. So that's the position that you're in, bro. Like, if you watch this thing and it's terrible and you don't tell me, and then I watch it, especially if I watch it with you and I'm sitting there and I'm like looking at you for your reaction and you're just stoic, and then it ends up being trash. Oh, I'm gonna kill you, bro. I'm gonna fucking kill you. But if you do tell me, then I'm like, thank you for ruining this experience for me. Thank you so much. You are a terrible friend.
Okay.
Terrible friend.
I feel that if you and I are watching it together and you're seeing me being stoic, you're like, oh fuck, it's shit.
That's true, but you could be fucking with me, man. The amount of times that I fuck with you, you might just use this as an opportunity to be like, this is the time where I'm going to get him back. I'm going to get him back for all the times he fucked with me. So I don't even know. And this is what's going to happen. I'm going to look at you and be like, fuck, is he playing around with me right now? Or is it is he really into it? Or I don't know. I don't know if you're that type of person. Maybe you are. Maybe you aren't. See, now I'm paranoid. Now I'm paranoid.
Paranoid yourself.
Yeah, I just did this to myself, man. I got this on camera. I'm scared to watch this movie now.
Okay.
I gotta watch it before you do.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No, that would be the end of my life. You would fuck with me so much.
Oh, 100%. Come on, you know me. 100% that's happening. 100%. I'll be like, yeah, it was terrible, terribly good, but horrible. The way that it ended, so good, was really bad. Which one is the truth? We don't know. We just don't know.
All right. Moving on. All right. So we're going to jump ahead into our review of the latest episode of What If, episode 4. So this is the most recent episode of the MCU series What If. The episode 4 has dropped on Wednesday, and we're going to be reviewing it here. FYI, if you haven't seen What If episode 4,
that would be me. That would be me.
Are you serious?
Surprise! I didn't watch it. So what are we gonna do now, bro? What are we gonna do? I'm fucking with you, bro. I saw it. Got him. See, this is what I do, man. All day did not see that coming. See, I'm nice with it. I'm nice. You didn't see that coming. Watch when Batman comes out, bro. Oh, you in trouble, bro.
You know what? I'm gonna watch it with you. Focus. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh man, no, I saw it.
Okay. I was like, I just made this big entrance of this topic that we're just gonna bypass now. Anyway,
I saw it.
If you haven't seen it, spoiler warning, because we're gonna talk about it. So, as this picture denotes, episode 4 has to do with Doctor Strange. So, T, what did you think of the episode?
Yo, Umar, I'm gonna be completely transparent, bro. It was all right. And like you said at the top of the hour, I'm a big fan of Doctor Strange. I started becoming a big fan of Doctor Strange after his movie came out. But it just didn't really do it for me, man. I felt like I was bored at times, and
really,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. These what if stuff, or like, again, like what we were talking about last week. It's like they're interesting to watch, but at the end of the day, it's like they set up something that we know is not going to really go anywhere. So it's like it's hard for me to stay invested in the storyline. So for me, I kind of checked out.
Interesting, because like I would say that this is the one episode of What If that I felt was leading somewhere. I think it's like the fact that the Watcher actually spoke to him, and that he's created like this pocket universe where he's by himself, with essentially in like a crystal ball. I feel he's going to show up at like the Multiverse of Madness.
You think so?
Yeah, it felt like it was a little on the nose, in my opinion. Like it really felt like they were setting up someone who's going to make an appearance again, and is going to either, cause some shit, or be someone that they need to get help from.
Yeah, I could see that making some sense in terms of it showing up as a possibility. Again, though, I don't know anything about this multiverse shit, so it's hard for me to really follow a lot of the stuff that's going on right now until I actually see these movies. It's kind of like this is the example I always use, Guardians of the Galaxy. When I first saw the trailer, it didn't do anything for me because I'm like, I didn't even know these characters existed. Like, there's a talking raccoon. What the fuck is going on? But then I watched the movie and I was thoroughly entertained, right? But then, funny enough, actually, the receptionist at THI, the place that I work, the clinic that I work at, she started watching all the Marvel movies, and she's been loving them up until she got to Guardians of the Galaxy. And she's like, yeah, it didn't really do anything for me. And I was like, interesting. I thought it would, because I'm like, I actually ended up really liking Guardians of the Galaxy, but for her, I think
Not
she's
the
just
second one?
so. No, this is the first one. She's like, do I need to watch the second one? And I'm like, well, technically no. I don't think it really ties too closely to the overall storyline. But yeah, it didn't do anything for her. She was just, I think she's so enamored by like the main characters just because there's been a lot more build up. They've been more seen, or they're a more familiar property than Guardians of the Galaxy, that she's kind of like talking tree, talking raccoon. It's not for me. So
This is literally the first time I've ever heard someone not liking the first movie.
but then again, okay, but you bear in mind that she's not a geek. She's not a superhero.
No,
Like, she's
but
catching on late.
that's what I mean. Like,
Mm.
even geeks and non-geeks, like everyone I know, everyone says that Guardians of the Galaxy is one of their favorite superhero films, or only favorite superhero film.
Mm.
So this is like, yo, I wouldn't even know how to talk to this person.
But it's like, why is the favorite though?
Because like, they found it to be the most funny and also the most like enjoyable, and also the soundtrack was awesome. Their soundtrack was dope.
Okay, but it doesn't speak so much to the actual storyline though.
To be
And I
honest,
think
a lot of the Marvel, like the storylines for the movies aren't exactly great. They're like, they're fun.
no,
But
granted, but I think part of her appeal is that she knows that all of this is leading to an end game, right? And so she's more interested in that, to getting to that part, and anything that kind of is like loosely based off of the outcome of that, she's just not interested. Like
okay.
she wants to see the heavy hitters, and like the Guardians of the Galaxy are kind of like the bench warmers of the overall Avengers team, right?
And this is what you feel about this series as well, like with What If.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's just not doing it for me. It's not getting me hype enough to really say, oh, I like CJ. I know he loves this shit, right? But for me, it's not. It's all right, but it's not really doing it for me in the sense of like captivating my interest or anything of that regard, right? So
Even this one, where basically like he goes evil.
yeah, but we've seen this trope before, like the good guy turns evil because of love kind of thing. It's like it was nothing really new for me, and I don't know. I know like what they're setting up in terms of like the multiverse. It sounds very interesting, and I love the fact that like Spider-Man is connected to this, or it's connected to the second Doctor Strange that we're going to be getting soon.
Multiverse of Madness.
Sorry, what did I say?
No, you just said multiverse. It's the
Oh,
multiverse of madness.
yeah. That's the movie I'm referring to. So, and I know WandaVision was loosely connected, or is going to be connected to that in some degree, right? So,
Yeah.
that all has me interested, because I know I feel like I'm watching phase one all over again, in the sense of like the feeling that I got where it was building up to something,
Yeah.
and I like that. But these one-offs where it's like I mean, you're saying that this is kind of you feel like it's gonna tie into the multiverse of madness. So maybe if I watch it again and like kind of pay more attention, I'll be able to see it through a different lens and appreciate it more. But it just, for me, it's like I am already going into all of these knowing, like, with the anticipation that, okay, it's not gonna lead to anything. It's just like an alternate story that we're not gonna explore more than once.
See, this is why I found this episode too. Like I'm not a big fan of anthology series. So like this one,
Yeah.
I knew the series was going to be a tough sell for me, but I've been enjoying each episode. I would say my favorite was the T'Challa one, but that was also from like emotional reasons as well.
Yeah,
But also
yeah.
they did like a great character arc for him. I loved Captain Carter, but at the same time, I felt it to be less substance than we could have gotten.
Mm-hmm.
This, I would say, like, this is the first time I actually saw something that I was like, wait, like I'm watching this and I'm like, yo, I feel this is going to lead somewhere. Like, this has to lead somewhere. This can't be like an isolated thing, especially when the Watcher in him, like, he's the first person to actually talk to the Watcher. So I'm like, okay.
But again, I wasn't surprised because it's Doctor Strange, right? So I mean, like, why wouldn't he be able to talk to If he can from Infinity War, if he can see every alternate timeline, then who's to say that he can't be in contact with these dudes?
It's interesting that you bring that up because one of the things I found is that this episode really talked about time because like you saw him go through all those different iterations, and he can't as they like her death was a fixed point in time, so he can't undo that without like cataclysmic end of the universe. So, but I found it interesting. Like you're seeing the limits, and especially after watching Loki, we're able to see the limits of the Infinity Stone. Like we are actually starting to see how small scale it is, because all it can do is adjust time in the timeline, which is why like other timelines it has absolutely no effect on. And that's why like when you're out of the timeline, it's nothing but a paperweight. So with this, I found it like you're able to see how he was able to do those 16 million different variations of their encounter with Thanos, and he did it again with Christine. But you're also seeing that like he went outside of that, and it literally destroyed the universe, his universe. Like it's gone. Yeah. And I also found it to be very artistic to see that, like, so in the movies, when the character would die, when the universe or stuff did, they turned to dust. Here, they start leaking as ink.
Yeah.
And I found that to be very artistic and beautiful. I found this to be a very like it definitely was a little too on the nose for my taste. Like it's like this is going to be a big thing. This is going to be a big character moment. This is going to be a big thing, and I'm just like, okay, we get it. It's going to be a big thing. Let's actually get this stuff rolling a little bit and like spend more time on like development. But I actually found I was a little upset with how they did the ancient one. I'm like, I guess she's going to be a ghost that keeps coming in and out of stuff. Like why? But I love the fact that they showed the duality of characters, like one who chose one path and the other one who chose a darker path. But it was such an easy choice to make, which is why I thought you would have actually found it to be more meaningful.
No, I appreciated that element. Like I'm all about duality and like depictions of two sides of the same coin and everything. It's just for me, like it felt like the same old trope again.
You thought it was hollow.
Yeah, again with such in-depth content like this, it's so hard to jam pack that shit into 30 minutes, right? Yeah. So I understand it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think if I go back and I rewatch it under a different lens, given your theory of like how it's potentially going to be connected to Multiverse of Madness, then maybe I might appreciate it more, because I am pretty excited for Doctor Strange 2. So that, I mean, we haven't seen anything from it other than a couple of photos, but yeah, I'm hyped for it. So
okay,
yeah,
interesting. All right, well, yeah, like I gave my opinion on it, so I guess we move it on to our next topic. So our next topic is going to be our final topic of the night. Is going to be another touch base with Tactix, and we were recently made aware, I think last episode, that Mr. Tactix, while in his frustrations of watching Angel, the series, which I do hope you go back to.
I will.
I hope you do. Decided to start watching Harley Quinn, the animated TV series. Now, this is a personal favorite for both me and Darcy, so I'm a little sad he's not here to hear this. But T, I gotta hear, because like apparently he's watched last week. He said he only watched the first season, but he revealed to me just before we started filming that he's watched both seasons. Are you lying to me again?
Just ask me what you want to ask me.
Did you watch it?
Just ask me what you want to ask me.
What did you think? What did you think of the series?
So, watch season 1, watch season 2. This show is so dumb. It's so dumb, and I love it.
Oh, thank God.
I love. I oddly like it. Honestly, like it. I'm not even joking. Like the show is is stupid. Like I'm just like
it's meant to be stupid.
But yeah, because I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, so is this from the perspective of Harley Quinn? Because that's what it comes out like. Gordon is such a weird character. Batman is off at times. Like, Joker's pretty true to himself but then he kind of goes way left, and I'm just like, wait, what is going on in this show right now? Clayface, I don't know what the fuck they did with him, but he's just so out there. Like he seems like he's playing for both sides, if you know what I mean, and that's totally fine. I'm not judging or whatever, but
he's an actor.
Yeah, it's just very interesting. Who else?
King Shark.
King Shark is hilarious. Like I have no negative things to say about him. Like he's just every time he opens his mouth, I'm just like, yo, this dude is hilarious, man. I love this guy. Bane, they kind of watered him down. I
was originally upset with Bane, and then he just got really endearing.
Yeah, I'm just like, yo, why y'all picking on Bane for, man? Leave him alone. Why can't you let him have a seat at the head table? Like, why y'all like knocking him for, man? So
he's like the bullied kid.
Yeah, I was like, what's the deal, yo? But yeah, like I said, I still stand by what I said. It's a stupid show, but it knows exactly what it is, and I like that. Like it's so they don't do it like excuse me, they don't do it like how they do in Fast 9, where they know they're pushing the envelope and getting really outlandish, and it's not just because you call it out and say, oh yeah, we're pushing the envelope, we're pushing the limits or whatever, doesn't mean you get a pass. You know what I mean? Like, you still have to be good.
Just because you became self-aware does not mean that you can still do you can do shit.
Exactly. And with this, it's like, it's wacky, it's out there, it's stupid, and I'm oddly entertained by this show, man. Like it's giving me what it promises, and it's delivering on a lot of merits, and I'm just like, I'm kind of digging it, even though I'm like, yo, I don't know what's going on with Batman. Like they make him like such a child at times, where it's like Alfred is like legit the father figure, and it's like, yo, like you feel like Alfred could ground Batman at any point in time, and Batman would just have to be like, all right, I guess I'm not going, right? Gordon, I'm like, yo, they fucked this character up, but I'm not mad. I'm just kind of like, it's so weird. It's an interesting watch, and I love it. I didn't think I would, and like I said, I was actually the first one out of you guys to watch it, because I started watching it. I was sending you guys clips, and I was like, yo, it's really dark, it's gritty, and it's got like dark humor. But I don't know if I can commit to this, because I'm like, it's very different. And so I kind of gave up on it, and then you guys started watching it and started loving it, and I was like, I don't know if I can go back to it right now. And then, like you said, I was watching Titans, and I was like, after the second episode, I'm like, yo, fuck this show, let's watch something else. And then I just started putting on Harley Quinn, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check out a couple episodes. And then a couple episodes turned into 2 fucking seasons, and I was like, okay, I'm invested. Bring on season 3. So yeah, I love it, man.
For me, like, I would say, like, by the way, Kite Man.
Yeah, Kite Man's funny, man. I like him.
So, like, for me, I gotta say, like, a few things. One, the voice acting all across the board is awesome. Like, I didn't expect me to like them as much as I do, but, like, I did. The humor is really gross at times, like, and not like in a sexual way, but like well, sometimes in a sexual way, but like, yo, they fuck people up, and it's like there's a lot of F words and there's a lot of blood. There's so much blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also like the serious aspects, like they show what it's like to, like, in a humorous way, and also in like sometimes in a very like dark way, like what it's like to be in a toxic or abusive relationship. They also show what it's like to fall in love with your best friend, and how that actually is like a good thing. And like they do a great job of representation with like bisexuality. Unfortunately for Kite Man, Kite Man got screwed.
Yeah, he definitely did.
It's very apocalyptic, and you're like, half the time you're like, is this a dream sequence? Oh shit, okay, so this actually happened.
Yeah.
And then like the next time, they're like everything's fine, and you're like, I guess. Oh yeah, it's a cartoon.
Actually, you know what else? Sorry to cut you off. You know what else I appreciate about this show is that they make reference to old Batman related stuff as well. Like I've seen a little bit of like obviously Bane sounds like Bane from The Dark Knight Rises, and there's like a couple of other stuff that I noticed and I was like, oh, that's from this episode, or and
Yeah.
like they bring callbacks to it, which is really interesting. Like this show is for the true hardcore Batman fans. You'll pick up on a lot of like key elements from the past that make an appearance in a really interesting way, and I like how they tie everything back in a cohesive way, which is really interesting. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer did that very well within the realm of Buffy, where they would do constant callbacks. Like they would constantly bring up Xander, his army background from when they changed into when that spell happened and it was like Halloween or whatever. So I like when shows do that, where they reel you in by bringing in these like small little callbacks from previous episodes or even previous shows, as like little Easter eggs to like see if you're paying attention, and like even like certain things that they would say, and I'm like, that's from this movie, like, right? So I like that.
What I found to be rather interesting and poignant was that of all the main villains that we see, so like in the Batman animated series back in the day, like Heart of Ice, like the introduction of like the modern iteration of Mr. Freeze, was like really really powerful and really really good, and also like humanizes the character. Oddly enough, in this show, which is completely wacky, insane, like random stuff happening, like it's kind of like the Family Guy of like Batman.
Yeah,
Um,
very
it has,
accurate description. Yeah.
yeah, but like it has a poignant Mr. Freeze episode where he's actually not a villain; he's actually a decent person, and they
Yeah.
kill him for it, and you're like, well, that just got dark.
Yeah.
But like the show does that, where like they talk about like a spouse, like abuse from your partner, and and also the fact that like the partner then starts to rationalize it, and like Poison Ivy's like literally trying to shake her out of it, and she's like, yeah, you're right, fuck the Joker, but I should go check on him, and then like turn around
Yeah.
and go.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I found that and also like so what you said about this is for the diehard fans. When people said that to me, I was like, no. If you're gonna make fun of Batman, this is not for diehard fans. But then you watch it and you're like, yeah, but them making fun of it kind of. The only way it's funny is if you actually know diehard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you need to be a diehard fan to get the joke, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, because I was originally offended because I hated what they initially I hated what they did with Gordon, and I hated how they were depicting Batman, and I was like, this does not sit right with me. And then as I started to kind of give the show a little bit more of a chance, yo, I was like, damn, bro. Yeah, so yeah, it honestly I like what they're doing with it. The humor is great. I find myself laughing hysterically at times. Obviously you have like these characters really grow on you. They're humanized in a way where you're like, man, like in a real world scenario, you wouldn't be rooting for these characters, right? But you know, like you said, like Bane is endearing to a certain degree. Like Clayface is hilarious. Like he doesn't come off as menacing at all. Like even King, like none of them really come off as menacing. Like Harley Quinn and
Dr. Psycho, he fucked
Doctor
that
Psycho,
guy.
yeah, okay, yeah. He ended up being consistent, and he was a dick the entire time. So, yeah,
He was
Psy
the
had to
perfect
turn around.
Yeah, like Dr. Psycho had like a perfect. He was the perfect iteration of toxic masculinity, especially
Yeah.
when he said the S, like the C word, and like that was like the whole
Yeah.
point of the show. It's like, yo, he said the C word, and it's like,
Yeah,
what about
Yeah.
Psy? You were saying?
he had to turn around too because he was a jerk in the beginning, and then did a complete switch around. So that was
Yeah.
good. But yeah, yo, like King Shark is my favorite, yo. He's my absolute favorite. But yeah, I love the show. I love all the characters. I love the storyline. I'm excited to see where they take things with season 3.
That's assuming
And
season 3 happens.
yeah, And
Oh wait, actually, let me check that out. While you're,
I think there is. I think they greenlit a season 3.
yes, officially
Yeah.
as of September 18th, 2020, it was renewed for a third season. That
Yeah.
wasn't.
Well,
This was actually like this show was on the canceling acts like fence.
oh, is that why they ended with the end question mark at the end of season 2?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I was like, wait, that's it? Like that's all we're getting? Like that's a happy ending, but I'm like, I kind of want to see more.
By the way, Perpetual Single Channel says I see that Grogu T-shirt. So like,
Sheba.
yep. So no, man, I'm really glad. I really need to watch this show though. You haven't seen the Harley. I'm not going to yell at you, especially while I'm on TV. But
Wow, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that Sheba hasn't watched this show. She's like the biggest Harley Quinn fan that I know.
Yeah.
So I'm quite surprised by that. But yeah, definitely. Like if I've watched it, you definitely need to watch it.
Just out of curiosity, so what did you think of the Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy dynamic throughout the series?
I enjoyed it. I really like Poison Ivy as a character. She's a nice balance. It's almost like a yin to Harley's crazy yang energy, right? Oddly enough, I like how that whole the character arc of both of them kind of got fleshed out. Like it was your typical drama that I'm normally not a huge fan of when it comes to TV series, but like it worked. And I guess because they sprinkled in a lot of the wackiness to like kind of like, you know, dress it up a little bit. But yeah, it just worked for me. Like the whole dynamic between them and like that whole thing. And yeah, I enjoyed it, man. I liked the storyline more than I thought I would. The story, the characters are just super funny and so endearing to watch. And I love it, man. Action, yeah, it's gory as fuck, that's for sure. But
I remember the first episode, like when Harley Quinn and Joker are killing people on that yacht. I'm like, oh shit, they're killing those people.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's a great excuse me, it's a great show. I'm a fan.
Yes. Oh, so Queen Sheba messaged, I've been meaning to, but it's not on any of the streaming channels, so I haven't watched it yet. I watched it on demand, so that's how I was able to watch it. I think it's also on HBO.
I illegally watched it, so that's how I watched it.
No one will know.
No one will know.
But okay, so just out of curiosity, are you going to go back to Angel, or like what's next on like something for us for a Touchbase attack?
That's a good question because I'm done Harley Quinn now. There's quite a few shows I still have to watch. Like I'm not caught up at all on the new season of My Hero Academia. But you guys haven't been talking about it all that much, so I'm like,
because we don't want to rub it in your face.
But usually you guys will say like something. I'm like, I haven't heard any. I'm like, is this show even still on? Like, you guys haven't said anything.
And let's just say that so like the new season has 2 arcs in it, and like the first arc was decent, but the second arc was pretty dope. Right now we're in the
that hurt. See, that hurts when you say it was decent. I know what decent means to you, yo, and it's not. I'm not gonna like it.
I think you would like it. It wasn't really my thing. Other people have really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, that's true. We have different taste. That's true. We have very
so I
different
think
taste.
you will like it, but like I know that the second arc you're gonna love.
Okay. Yeah, I still gotta watch that.
Finish the first season of Angel. That's all I'm asking.
Like, okay, I want to. I really do. Trust me. I really want to get it back into it. It's just, it's missing something that Buffy had that Angel doesn't seem to have right now. And I don't know what it is. And maybe it's because there was one thing. So remember when I said the whole first season or majority of the seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they always led up to, or they always alluded to something that was coming later on down the line. Like you always knew the big bad of the whole season, and so all the episodes in between the lead up or whatever like that, they were self-contained, but they were always kind of building up to something, kind of like how like the MCU has been did with Endgame and shit, right? So it's like self-contained movie, but we're throwing in elements that kind of lead up to the end game kind of thing.
Every season of Buffy had the big bad show up in the first episode.
Yeah, in Angel, I don't know where they're going with this shit. Like, it's just like they're just giving me episode after episode, and I'm like, okay, but where are we going? Who is the big bad here? Are you just? I feel like this is less of a show of like a vampire trying to fight crime, and more of this guy just trying to start a business. Like that's all. It's just like. He's an entrepreneur. I'm watching an entrepreneur, a vampire entrepreneur, build his business. That's it. So I'm like, why do I care? I'm trying to build my own business in real life. Why am I watching this fantasy shit of this dude building his business, of him fighting crime and shit? I'm like, I just don't care.
Poor
I
vampire.
just don't
Can't
care. Yeah, I don't care. Like, I don't even understand how he's able to do this, and like, cops aren't like. Inquiring about this shit, like where's your permit at? Like you just decided you were gonna start fighting demons and shit.
Well, they have called it out. They said like, "Where's your license?" And he's like, "I don't got one."
So they just brush it out. Like, all right, cool. Do your thing, bro. Do your thing. So I'm like, I don't know where this is going, and I don't know what I'm watching for. Like,
okay, but hold on. Like, remember, you couldn't stand the first season of Buffy.
Yeah, but at least I knew. Okay, she's fighting to protect the Sunnydale from like decimation, you know what I mean? Like at least I knew what was happening. I knew what it was leading to. This I'm just like, this motherfucker's just he might as well be on like Shark Tank or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like what are you doing? Like I don't know where this is going. I don't know where he's leading to. Like so, yeah, okay, man.
So hold up. What was the last episode you watched? Like episode what?
Man, I think the last episode was like Cordelia moved into this house that was haunted.
Did you watch so early on?
I'm just like, why do I care? Like it's like real problems. It's like, okay, she's trying to find a house to live in. She's trying to pay rent. I could just watch my friends do this shit, like in real life. Like, why am I watching this on TV? Like,
all right. You need to... Okay, so that's episode 5. You need to get to episodes 8 and 9.
Oh, that's so far. That's so far.
It's not that far. It's just
okay.
It's just 3 more episodes.
All right, I'll give it a season, and if it doesn't pick up, then I'm checking out, man.
I'm fine with that.
Checking out.
I am completely fine with that. All right, all right. We have some comments from Queen
Angel the Entrepreneur.
Angel the Entrepreneur.
That's what the show should be. That's what the show should be called. Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel the Entrepreneur.
Oh, okay. So yeah, she can't find it. I have been meaning to, but it's not right. I'm behind on that too, which I'm assuming was My Hero Academia.
Mm-hmm.
And she's asking if we were talking about Buffy, and she's like, "Ha to your entrepreneur." I legit miss talking to Tactix about nerdy things.
I miss you too, man. It was so fun. So fun talking to you about nerdy stuff. And there's so much nerdy stuff that we missed that we didn't get an opportunity to talk about. So I don't even know what you think about anything. Like, what was the last thing that we talked about? Endgame?
Oh,
must have been Endgame. Yeah.
Well, Queen Chiba and I went to go see Shang-Chi last night. So
I saw. Yeah.
Okay. So another touch base with Tactix will be in the future. Hopefully, when he's a little bit further along on season 1.
Okay, give me a list of some shit that I need to watch right now before we sign off. Like, I know I have to watch My Hero Academia.
Okay. Also, to the audience, please also throw in your suggestions for what Tactix should watch based off it. So My Hero.
Give me the top 5 right now. I'm gonna write them down right now. So My Hero Academia.
Season 5.
Season 5, okay.
All right, Angel Season 1.
Oh my gosh, okay. Angel Season 1.
I'm drawing a blank right now.
Give it to me, bro. Give it to me.
You're watching What If. Oh, Demon Slayer watching the damn movie.
Okay, Demon Slayer. All right, I still gotta watch the movie. I'll admit that. Demon Slayer. Oh wait, I know one. What were you gonna say? Yes, that was the one I was gonna say. TMNT. I still have your hard drive.
I know you do.
Yeah. All right. So fifth one.
Fifth one.
Or we could just settle with 4. That's fine. That's a lot of content. No. Oh, you want 5? All right. Let's do 5.
Oh.
What are you watching right now? What do you watch that you think I would watch?
See, that's the thing. Like, I'm not sure if you would like some of the things that I'm watching right now.
Yeah, because you're into Star Trek and all that shit. So.
And you see, I wish you would love sci-fi, man.
It just doesn't do it for me, man. I'm sorry, bro. It just doesn't do it for me, man. Oh wait, yo, we didn't even talk about the Matrix. What the hell?
Oh shit, yeah. Let's do that right now. Okay, so quickly.
Yo, this guy's slipping, bro. I was just thinking sci-fi, and I'm like, the only sci-fi thing that I like is like the Matrix, and I'm like, wait, we didn't talk about the Matrix.
So geeky news, we have recently been told the title of the Matrix 4 movie that's coming out. So it's going to be, and spoilers if you didn't want to know about it, like plug your ears or tune out or whatever. It's going to be called Matrix Resurrection. I mean, that's from Matrix 2, but nonetheless, there we go. Matrix
I couldn't find a good picture because the trailer's not even out yet, so this is what we got. Matrix 4. It's not the actual official title, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I gotta say, personally, and this is probably gonna hurt your feelings, T, I really wish this movie wasn't being made. Like, I absolutely loved the first movie. I feel it should have just been left there. The second movie was trash for me, with some good stuff here and there, but like, yeah, it was just so stupid. And like the third one was like an up and down part. Like some parts were good, some parts were not so good, and I could have done away with it. But so like the fact that they're making a fourth movie. What about you? What about you, man?
So I kind of agree with you, but I still want to see it. I still am excited to watch it. Like I agree. They didn't need it doesn't make sense. I feel like this is just a cash grab.
Yeah.
It's kind of on the same level of we were just talking about this the other day. I don't know if it was on camera, but Coming to America, where it was like they waited way too long to come up with a sequel to an already great movie that did not need a sequel, but they decided to go for it anyway, and I don't know how well it did, but to me that movie I couldn't even sit through the whole thing, right? So how I felt about the Matrix trilogy as a whole, first movie, probably top 5 all-time favorite movies, hands down. Like the first Matrix movie was great, and still holds up. If you watch it today, still holds up. Phenomenal movie. The second one I enjoyed, but it was definitely a step down from big step down from the first one. But it had some really iconic action scenes, like the highway chase scene. Probably one of the greatest highway chase scenes next to Bad Boys 2 that I've seen in a long time. So
that chase scene outdoes all of the fantastic Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I will give you that. Okay. Third Matrix movie, forgettable. I don't really remember a lot of what happened other than pretty much everyone dies. So, yeah. And then to bring them back, why? I don't understand it. But I'm curious. And so I was watching John Campea. John Campea, for those who don't know, he's a YouTuber, a very well-known YouTuber who reviews movies, and he's got he knows the ins and outs of a lot of things in the movie industry. And so he got a chance to go to what's the recent event that just happened? I think it was Fandom or something. It's
DC
something where
is yet to come. That's like in October.
Oh, okay. So it's another one of those where like certain people by invitation only get to see like a press screening of certain movies or like exclusive trailers and stuff. So him and his friend got a chance to go to see a lot of the stuff. So they saw Batman, some extra footage or whatever. They saw the Matrix 4. They saw Spider-Man stuff and everything. And so they were talking about Matrix 4. John Campea is not excited for this. He wasn't a big fan of the Matrix trilogy. He loved the first one, but much like you, Umar, wasn't crazy about the sequels. But he said that the trailer for this, even though he's not excited for it, it looks amazing. Looks absolutely stunning. So that's got me a little bit intrigued. But again, I mean, the trailers from what I remember of Matrix 2 and 3 were actually really good, but ended up being not so good movies overall, right? And then ironically, the trailer for the first Matrix was terrible, but the movie ended up being really good.
I wouldn't say it was terrible. I enjoyed the first trailer. It's just they didn't tell you anything.
Yeah, I went back and watched the trailer because I was like, I don't remember a lot of it. I just remember bits and pieces, and I was like, yo, this movie, it's just, yeah, you're right. It doesn't tell you anything about the movie, and like the way they cut it together, it's a bad trailer. It's a pretty bad trailer.
I'll go back and
I'm
check
not even gonna lie.
out.
Yeah,
I'll go back and check that out, but I haven't. I haven't seen that. Oh,
like if you compare it to trailers that we see now, yeah.
But trailers now give far too much away.
No, agreed.
So Queen Shiva's like, sometimes movies just need to be left alone and don't need reboots. I'm just in this for Keanu Reeves. I think that's the only reason I'm going to go see that film.
Yeah.
It's for Keanu, because my man, like, it's Keanu. I watch all things he's in. Amen. I mean, we've seen great trailers and trash movies and vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Actually, okay, so maybe this will be for another topic.
Okay.
And it's be a short segment, obviously. But what are some trailers that you've seen that were actually really, really bad, but ended up being great movies?
I'm gonna have to think on that.
Yeah, for sure. I can say one off the top of my head. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with this movie, but Lucky Number 11. That trailer was so the way that they cut the trailer, they made it, they set it up as like kind of like a weird comedy, and there was definitely funny moments in the movie, but it wasn't the movie that they portrayed it out to be in the trailer, and I ended up really liking that movie.
Just out of curiosity, what is your like? Because like for me, I like it when trailers either misdirect or don't give too much away. Like they tell you who's in the movie, they give you like a brief synopsis of what the film is about, and that's about it. But like, what do you want to get out of a trailer? Because like there are people who want like a lot from a trailer that I don't want too much.
So it's a slippery slope, and I feel like the answer's in the middle there. Like because it's hard, because if you don't give away, so if you keep a lot of stuff close to the chest, you end up giving out a trailer where it's like nobody knows what the fuck the movie is about. Like, case in point, Lucky Number 11. I had or not even Lucky Number 11. Like with that scenario, it ran the risk of like, if I had just based my opinion off the trailer,
Eternals is the trailer that.
Yeah, but with Lucky Number 11, it's like I had no interest in watching the movie, and it wasn't until someone put it on when I was at their house, and they're like, "Yeah, let's watch this movie." Otherwise, I would have never seen the movie, and like I ended up loving the movie. But I based my opinion on the initial reaction from the trailer, and I was like, "No, this looks like trash." Eternals is another thing. Like, I don't know anything about what's going on in the movie, and that could be to their detriment, because a lot of people, who are, even if you're if you say you're an MCU fan, you're basing that off of like what has already been set up from the movies, not comic book fans, right? And so some of these MCU fans don't even know who the Eternals are. They didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were, right? But at least with the Guardians of the Galaxy in the trailer, they relied heavily on comedy, and then they had that branding of, oh, this is a Marvel film, so it's like, oh,
Yep.
okay, cool, I'm gonna take that on, right? I feel like Eternals tried to do that a little bit at the end, where they tack on a little comedy line or whatever, but it just, for me, like, the trailer didn't really do anything for me because I have no idea who these characters are. At least with Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm like, okay, I don't know who these characters are, but this looks like a hilarious movie, and maybe it's like a break from all of the heavy action stuff that we've been getting, and like, it's something different.
So going back a little bit, I'm not sure if I'm sorry if I've asked you this and you've answered, but if Eternals wasn't an MCU film, would you watch it?
Hell no, absolutely not, absolutely 100% no. Definitely, this is not the kind of movie that I'm into. Like, it already has that sci-fi sprinkled into it, and I'm like, yeah, nah, no, Marvel, you're not gonna get me, not this time. Nope. If this didn't have Marvel attached to this, definitely would not be watching this movie.
Yeah, so
That's why I'm like, that's why I'm reluctantly like I'm not all that eager to watch Dune. And I know that pains you for me to say that, but it still got that sci-fi sprinkled onto it, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
I know you're going to like it though, because it's got a lot of elements that you like.
You know what? I probably will. You haven't steered me wrong yet in a lot of, like, I watched the Indiana Jones series, didn't think I'd like them, and I ended up enjoying them. So, there's that. Although that's not a sci-fi movie, but an example that you got. Is it really?
Fantasy?
Come on.
Is it a fantasy?
It's more. Yeah, I guess it'd be more fantasy, like action fantasy, if that is a category of its own.
The fourth one definitely was sci-fi, but like.
Oh yeah, because it dealt more with aliens.
Yeah. So Queen Sheba is like, with Eternals, I'm excited that they're not giving me much. I'm excited to see how things will go. Amen. Besides, I gotta support a movie with diversity. The fuck man. Yeah, that is true actually. Like,
okay, yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah, like there's a lot of diversity in Eternals. So I'm like, I'm gonna make sure if I have to like go see it 5 times just to make up for like COVID like getting in the way of people watching this in movie theaters, I'll do it.
Yeah. A lot of diversity in that movie, so that's great. It's great.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, I like, just going back to the original topic, I'm not that excited about Matrix 4, but I'll see Keanu, I'll see him like, be a sweetheart and like a cool guy, but like ultimately I'll be like, you could have done a different movie.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna watch this. If anything, I know it's gonna be stunning. Like,
just for this podcast alone, I will have to watch the film.
Well,
but but aside from that, I think like with you in terms of Eternals, like you're watching it more as like a necessity as opposed to like a want. I'm going to do the same thing with Matrix 4. It's going to be like, well, it's out, need to see it.
And you know what? It might surprise us. But then again, it's like, where do you go from there? Is this like a resurgence where you're just trying to retell the story over and over again?
We'll see. I really hope that they just like finish it with this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, those are all the topics for today. I'm gonna pass it back to you, T.
That's how we're ending it, huh? They're just like,
I'm trying something new.
All right. Well, okay. We still don't have our ending locked down, so we just end awkwardly every time. So I guess that's just gonna be our thing, lady. Nah. No chick said that. No chick said that. Okay, we're just gonna end it right now. All right. So anyway, this has been another edition of the Geeky Bros Podcast. Minus Darcy. He will be back joining us next week. As always, you'll get the 3 amigos. But until then, please like, favorite, and subscribe to this. We are now on TikTok. We are in the process of getting an Instagram. On TikTok, you can find us at Geeky Bros Podcast. It's just basic snippets. We might actually end up posting like other like short little reviews of stuff or whatever. I'm trying to get Umar to use more social media stuff so he can spread the word, but we're having a hard time with that. But we'll get there, ladies and gentlemen.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all up there. So we're give us time. We're getting there. But anyway, I'm your boy Tactix.
And I'm Big Geek Umar. I messed it up because I was caught off guard because Darcy wasn't here to like buffer me. But nonetheless, please like and subscribe and live long and prosper, y'all.
It's just Darcy, and we signing out. See, we shouted him out. We're good. You know, we got it.